Welcome back to Tarot and Beyond. Today we're doing messages from Spirit. So this is a Spirit Says series that I'm going to be starting here on the channel. They're messages meant for you at this time directly from Spirit. And hopefully I'll be able to interpret for Spirit or on Spirit's behalf. So I'm going to actually select the piles or the groups on camera today. So we're going to use the Coffee Cup Oracle, as you can see here. We're just going to pull 3 cards, and we'll also get 1 charm for each as well. I feel this one for group 1. This one's for group 2. Oh, yeah, that's group 3. Okay, so let's take a look. Group 1, you have flowers, romance, and sweetness. Group 2 is strength, resourceful, and the bear. Group 3 is groom, husband, and marriage. Okay, and to help you choose, or just from some additional insight, we'll get a charm for each. So for group 1, we've got the little grape jar. Okay, so sweetness, definitely. Okay, that makes sense, yeah. For the bear, we have the pearl heart with the red rose. Okay, and for group number 3, we have the tree. Looks like the tree of life. Okay, or a family tree even. Wow, okay. So yeah, make your selection, group 1, 2, or 3. Use the timestamps below to jump ahead to your chosen reading or readings. If you do feel called to more than one, that's fine. Maybe even all of them. Just take the messages from the readings that you feel are meant for you, apply it to your life how you feel that it resonates, and leave the rest here, as it's most likely for someone else. All right, guys, we'll see you in your readings. All right, hi group number 1. You chose romance, sweetness with these beautiful flowers here. And then I love that the charm that came out for you guys is also something that I usually associate with sweetness whenever I see this charm, which is the little grape jar. So it makes me think of like grape juice or some kind of a sweet drink. So let's get some additional messages. I feel called to this particular deck. So let's take a look. Oh, I feel those too. All the cards we're using today, including the charms, are from subscribers who have sent in these as donations to the channel. So thank you so much to those of you who have sent those in. And if you guys are interested in contributing decks or anything like that to the channel, you can check out my Amazon wish list, which is linked in the description box below. All right, let's take a look. This feels like the dominant card, and it's the Ace of Wands. Wow, okay, so yeah, there's definitely some kind of a new beginning as it relates to romance here. It feels very much like something that you've been desiring for a long time. I'm also seeing this phoenix rising out of the palm of this person's hand. It's kind of speaking to me of like a bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush, which I don't even really know what that saying means, but it feels like there's something lucky about this, or you have something, or you're going to have something that you thought you didn't. And it's actually going to show up in an unexpected way. The Ace of Wands is making me think of something unexpected. The phoenix here reminding me of the first time that Harry Potter goes in to visit Dumbledore and his phoenix just bursts into flames. Fawkes just bursts into flames randomly. And he's like, I'm so sorry. I didn't do anything. Yeah, it just feels like something really unexpected is going to happen. And I love that the Ace of Wands here is really talking about that romance and that sweetness, because the Ace of Wands is passion, and it can be ignition of passion for something that you really weren't expecting, because it just comes out of nowhere. It's a new beginning for sure. But again, it's they just keep giving me that message that it's unexpected. So Spirit really wants to talk to you today, group number 1, about this unexpected sweetness in your romantic life. Whether you're coupled or single, let's find out. So some more information from these cards. We have the 4 of Discs. This is making me think that you've kind of been hiding away, trying to protect yourself. I'm getting that message. It's kind of like you've been secluding yourself, maybe isolating yourself in some way. It just feels like there's been separation between you and maybe your partner if you're coupled, or from the outside world. Like, say, for example, you're single, maybe you're not really dating right now. But I see that somebody's got their eye on you. Somebody's got their eye on you, and I think this is a sweet person, but let's get more information. You have Temperance. Yeah, this does feel like there's something that, again, I'm getting that message of the unexpected. There's something that you don't see coming. There's something off in the distance that you've been wanting. They're showing me the 2 triangles here on these cards. I don't know if you'll be able to see them. And I feel like that's the masculine symbol, because I'm pretty sure that the upside down triangle is the feminine symbol, but I could be wrong. Yeah, so this could be an unexpected masculine coming into your life, and somehow it kicks up new romance, or there's like sweetness that's coming from that. Something that you're really going to enjoy is what Spirit just said. Something you're really going to enjoy, even though you've been kind of keeping yourself contained a little bit here. But there's this tower, this castle on this like floating island, which makes me think of Avatar, like those floating mountains. But yeah, it feels like there's something that's waiting for you off in the distance. It's not even like you're going to need to build this castle or this foundation or something. It's like it's already there, and it's floating in this very unexpected way. Like you would not expect there to be an island floating off in the middle of space, or in the middle of the air like that. But somehow it works, And I think, even the fact that they just brought up Avatar, if you're new to my readings, I use a lot of references from pop culture and media, shows and TV, and that's what Spirit uses to show me archetypes and themes. And when I think of the movie Avatar, I do think of an unexpected romance. Obviously, it was not, I can't remember the guy's name, but it was not the main character's main goal to go and fall in love and become what he did. So it definitely feels like this is kind of something that is off in the distance. It's waiting for you. It's always been there. But you just haven't really seen it. You've had your back turned to it. You've been focusing on other things. Maybe you've been focusing on work, been focusing on your career, focusing on your health. I see health a lot here. So you guys might have been focusing a lot on creating a stable foundation for yourself in terms of your physical well-being, and financial stability can be part of that as well. Especially with the phoenix here, the phoenix rising from the ashes is definitely a symbol of physical rebirth and doing physical healing work. So yeah, I feel like this person is going to be somebody who really pours into your cup and helps to refill you if you've had experiences in the past where that wasn't the case. Let's keep going here. The ace, the ace of discs. So you have 2 aces here. Definitely an unexpected new beginning, something that you do not see coming. And the Ace of Wands feels like an unexpected surprise, but the Ace of Discs feels like an offer. And now we have the opposite symbol on this person's hand. It's the opposite triangle with the line through it. I think that's more feminine. Like I was saying, it's like the inverted triangle. So this could be the connection of a divine masculine or divine feminine. If you're the masculine, then this would be a feminine coming in. If you're the feminine, then this would be a masculine coming in. Again, it's not related to gender. It's just polarity. But yeah, I'm seeing that there's an offer coming in. And again, this does feel unexpected, like it comes out of nowhere. And yeah, they just showed me like daisies popping up out of snow. Like you would not expect that. Maybe there's been like some frigidness in your romantic life. If you're coupled, it could be like you've just been really preoccupied with other things, and then all of a sudden this passion is reignited. Or if you've been single for a long time, or maybe even for a short period of time, but you've just been really focusing and intent on your health and your well-being and maybe your finances or your career, all of a sudden it's kind of like this flower blooms out of the snow in this cold landscape where that wasn't really the focus, or it didn't feel like that was the right time. All of a sudden it's just boom, there it is. Oh yeah, flowers, I forgot. Yeah, because you've got these two flowers here. They were showing me that in my mind's eye, so I wasn't even really paying attention to the cards. But of course, we've got flowers here on this card and flowers on this card. So this person could even be offering you flowers, bringing you flowers, something like that, sending you flowers as a way of really initiating this romance or something like that, because I do see the flowers being really emphasized here. And I think it goes beyond just the message about romance and sweetness. It could be a literal thing. So yeah, Spirit really wants to talk to you about this. It's an important phase. Yeah, it's an important phase. Let's look at this last card. You've got the Five of Wands. Interesting Five of Wands here with like Medusa. But again, we see some flowers here too. So I'm feeling mental conflict from this card, interestingly enough. I mean, that's not normally what the Five of Wands represents, but I go with the intuitive messages that I get more than anything. And from this particular Five of Wands, I'm getting the message that there's something mentally going on that has been stopping you. And again, when I think of Medusa, I think of somebody who was persecuted by men. And basically the story of Medusa is actually pretty harrowing. She was a worshiper at the temple. I can't remember for who. Maybe it was Hera or someone else. Anyways, she was a worshiper at one of the temples, and then she was actually I won't use the word because it can be a trigger for some people, and but she was forced against her will to engage in physical acts with one of the men in the community who was stopping by the temple, and the goddess got mad at her for whatever reason, and then Medusa made her into a gorgon. And then she ran and hid in the caves. And then, of course, then we know that I think it was Perseus who came and cut her head off. So yeah, she was really like persecuted by men. And it's interesting that this male-female dynamic is coming up. I think that maybe if you've been very protective of yourself, in the past, you could have had really difficult relationships with men. Maybe you did feel as though you were persecuted, or there was some trauma around your relationship to men or the masculine energy in general. But I'm seeing here with Medusa, the Medusa head became a symbol for women's shelters. So women who were being abused or who needed to escape toxic situations or unhealthy marriages or relationships, they could go to these women's shelters that were disguised, and the Medusa head was the symbol for them to find safe shelter. So that's kind of what I'm seeing here is like you may have conflict in your mind around opening up and accepting this offer and opening your heart and allowing that sweetness to bloom, because you've kind of kept it in this perpetual state of winter as a way of protecting yourself and sort of dissuading any approaching advances. Maybe, yeah, because of the wounds of the past. But I feel like there's going to be there's going to be something positive here that's actually going to help reshape or reframe how you feel about romance, how you feel about the sweetness of other people, and specifically some healing around the feminine and masculine polarity dynamics and how those two can fit together in a more healthy way. You have trust. Wow, yeah. I trust life and my strengths. Each moment guides me to the light. Everything on my path is placed there for my growth. So this is definitely about trust. It's about trusting other people again, because the wound that I'm seeing there was really like not being able to trust masculines, not being able to trust men, or maybe even just other people in general. And if you're a man, then this would be not trusting women, because maybe you were made to be the bad guy, or maybe people took advantage of you in some way, shape, or form. So I just feel like there's mental conflict around this, but the heart is ready and willing, is what Spirit just said. The heart is ready and willing. So it's really just about trusting this person and this situation. You can always protect yourself as you need be. Healthy boundaries is very encouraged and important here. But I think that continuing to hide away, isolate, withdraw, they're showing me somebody keeping something at arm's length. Like the more pushing away energy is something that they're encouraging you to let go of, is what Spirit just said. Let go of that. And we have here and now. The future does not exist and the past is gone. I focus on the present moment. I have confidence in life again, because here now there is no danger. Everything happens when my soul is ready. Yeah, they're really focusing on the fact that it's safe for you to trust now. It's safe for you to open up. There is no danger. This person who's coming in, or these new levels of love, are going to help you to get grounded back into the moment again, to trust, reignite some passion within you that you thought was lost, but it was really just kind of buried under the snow there. And like the daisy, it's popping its head up at the right time, even if it feels a little unexpected. But it's really going to show you a new way of loving, is what Spirit just said. It's going to show you a new way of loving, and it's going to help you to begin a new journey, is what they just said as well. So beginning a new journey. This could be a journey with one particular person, or this could be opening up to romance I don't know, like different ways, maybe just incorporating more romance into your life, or being more open-hearted to romantic advances. Or if you have a partner, this is being open to being more vulnerable and to incorporating more sweetness, more romance, more open-heartedness into your relationship, so that there can be this rebirth and this new journey that takes place. Because it's leading to that foundation, very seemingly unlikely, but it really does, it does result. And they just used the word equate. I said result, they said equate. And equate is kind of like 1 + 1 = 2. It's mathematical. Now it's interesting that that's what they're bringing up, because they were showing us the symbols there, and those alchemical symbols of masculine and feminine. Whether or not that's what they actually are, that's the message they're trying to get across to me. And it's like 1 + 1 = 2. Yeah, so there's something about the mathematics energetically of these counterparts coming together, or this romance blossoming within. It's kind of like the sum of its parts is greater than, is greater than the sum. What is it? How does that go? I don't know. The outcome is greater than the parts of it. Does that make sense? So yeah, there's something about combination, because they keep showing me the Temperance card here with her cups mixing the water. And it just feels like there's two things that are going to create so much more than that. And it's going to help. It's going to help you to transcend this wound or this trauma, this pain. The old responses of fight or flight is what they just showed me. Yeah, fight or flight. And if you're the feminine in this equation, then this would be you. This would be something that you've experienced in the past, or something like that has kind of put you on your guard and caused that sort of pushing away of romance or advances or vulnerability, that trustingness, that trusting nature. And if you're a masculine watching this, then this is the person who you're going to be making these sweet little advances toward. Not little, but I mean like sweet advances. This is probably somebody who's experienced some trauma in their life, especially related to men, or to romantic partners. And so you just want to be very slow and gentle, because that's going to help to build trust. It's like with a wounded animal who has been abused or something like that, you've got to take it really slow. You've got to build trust through continual actions and proof, basically, that you can be trusted. And it's like offering up something that is going to help to create that safety for this person. And if this is for you, it's receiving that from this person and kind of like requiring that a little bit. Like if, just don't go diving into it, but be open enough to see where it goes and then being able to build from there. Because I do see that if you're open, then it's like catalyzing is what they're showing me. Yeah, if you're open to it, it will catalyze this expansion. It will catalyze something much greater than the sum of its parts. And you'll be able to heal in a big way. It's like personal healing for sure. And it's through this romance, it's through sweetness, it's through this innocence and this delicateness that is being offered. Oh yeah, that's right. I made these cards a while ago, and I'm going to be using them in the back to school reading for the members, on the member side of the channel. I do feel this one for you guys. We'll get to, I don't even remember. Oh, I can see what's on the back of that one. But yeah, I don't even remember what's on these. I channeled these out from Spirit, so these are direct messages from Spirit. Let's start with this one, actually. So you have, that's not true. Okay, it says, where are you lying to yourself? This situation is calling you to face a difficult truth. Know that once you admit the truth to yourself, there will be relief. So this could be where you've been lying to yourself to try and keep yourself safe, right? Like, okay, I just like being alone and that's fine. But really it's kind of like hiding away in the cave to try and protect yourself at an unconscious level because there's a lack of trust or something like that. Or where are you lying to yourself about, oh, I don't really want romance in my life. I'm happy with things being the way they are, but deep down, that's not actually true. You do desire passion. You do want that romance, that sweetness, those little gestures that really show that somebody cares and is dedicated and loyal to you, something like that. So, apply it how it applies, but I feel like there's something here that there's been like a guardedness around, and the mental sort of gymnastics that have been happening and the conflict internally has resulted in this impasse when it comes to the telling of truth to the self. So it's first and foremost trusting yourself to be able to tell the truth, because when you're honest with yourself, you can trust yourself. And when you can trust yourself, you can better gauge and discern when and how to trust others. Okay, let's take a look at this one. If it smells like shit, it probably is. You can dress up a turd all you want, but there won't. You can dress up a turd all you want, but that won't change what it is. So, if it smells bad, then it probably is. It's kind of like pay attention to the red flags. I don't think that this is necessarily this person coming in or this relationship and the romance and the sweetness. I think that this was old energy. And I think that's why there's this trauma there, is kind of like a bypassing of the red flags and either not being mindful of them, not paying attention, not having boundaries, or really just not having had any awareness of that in the first place. And then as a result, getting yourself into these situations or experiencing these types of situations where there was mistreatment, and they just said maltreatment. Yeah, maltreatment. So you can't change those people. You can't change those situations. You can, but you can heal yourself and remove any of the shame, is what they just said. Oh, remove any shame around misinterpreting signs and signals or trying to change someone who really did not have your best interests at heart, was not sweet to you in the long run, and the result of that was very, very harmful. I feel like it's forgiving of yourself. If this is you that we're talking about, forgiving of yourself and letting go of that baggage from the past, because this does feel like past energy. These three here. And that's really the only thing that's holding you back from opening up to this new offer that's coming in. And it is a sweet offer. It is an innocent offer. It is romantic. It's very genuine is the word that they just gave me. It's very genuine. But it's like if your bullshit radar has gone a little bit haywire because it was under functioning before and now it's over functioning, you've become sort of like hyper vigilant in this situation as an adaptive mechanism to try and protect yourself here. They want you to know that there is a middle ground, that you can kind of find the center of that, where the pendulum was way too far on one side before, where there was a complete lack of boundaries and a lack of awareness of these dysfunctional things. And the other side of it, which was I need to completely shut down and close myself off and reject all advances because that's how I keep myself safe. There's like there is a middle ground here that is going to be very sweet. They just gave me the word lucrative as well, so it will be very lucrative in whatever way that plays out as. I mean, it could just be lucrative in the sense that it reignites your passion. I think that it does have something to do with health because they did just show me health. Money is involved here too. So I feel like this could be lucrative in terms of your overall well-being. You know, it's like it helps you to heal physically, emotionally, mentally. And as a result, you're able to focus on your career while at the same time having some kind of mutual reciprocal support. Yeah, it's not like this other person is financially supporting you, but it's like having that love helps you to do better for yourself on your own. Yeah, it does. It feels like mutual reciprocal love. I'm getting like 2 of Cups energy from the Temperance card right now. And it's like coming back into the truth of trusting that you can believe in this other person as soon as you start believing in yourself again. Because I think what happened here was that you got into tricky situations and didn't see them for what they were. And then you got really hurt, maybe repeatedly. And then as a result, you actually stopped trusting yourself instead of not trusting other people, although you probably didn't trust them either. It's kind of like everybody lost in that equation. But now it's like, this is if that was a lose-lose situation, this is going to be a win-win situation. And that's why it's going to be so sweet, is because it's a win-win for the first time in maybe a long time. So healing is definitely being involved in this, and the healing that I see is you being honest with yourself about this and then opening yourself up energetically. And that could look like saying to yourself, okay, yeah, I am ready to date, or I am ready to receive romantic advances, or saying to yourself, I am ready to open up to my partner. I am ready to go a little bit deeper and maybe talk about some of these things. Maybe they even already know about it, but you're still kind of holding back in some way. So it's being very honest with yourself and making this statement, because energetically they're showing me that's what shifts it. And then the advances come in, or the offers come in, or the sweetness is able to enter your life. Yeah. In the present moment, and the present is going to be safe. And you're going to get your confidence back in yourself, really, is at the core of this. You're going to trust and feel confident in yourself again, and how you're able to trust other people. Everything happens when your soul is ready. And they're saying your soul is ready now. But can you trust yourself that that's true? Because the mind is the only thing that's really holding you back here. The trauma from the past. But you can overcome that. You can heal that by trusting yourself again, and then opening up and allowing someone else to prove to you through their actions, not just their words, but through their actions repetitively over a long period of time, that you can indeed trust them as well. And I'm just getting one final closing message for somebody here. If you've been in relationships where you didn't trust someone in the past, there's a phrase that's coming to mind, and it says, a relationship with no trust is like a car with no gas. You can sit in it as long as you want, but it's not going anywhere. And yes, trust can be rebuilt, but I think there's a certain point where we have to accept that some people are just not capable of being respectful or honoring or supportive in the way that we need to be able to trust them. So it's kind of like being able to recognize when something is worth your trust and when something or someone is not. And that's not a diss on anyone else. It's literally just everyone has different capacities, and some people can meet us where we need them to, and some people cannot. And that's not their fault, and it's not our fault. It's nobody's fault. It's just the combination of things, right? That's the Temperance card. It's a combination of things. So I'm seeing the more you trust yourself, the more you're going to be able to open up and in a more balanced, moderated way, keep yourself safe while at the same time allowing other people to prove to you that they support your safety and respect your safety as well. And prioritize is what Spirit just said. Prioritize your safety, finding someone or reconnecting with someone or connecting with someone who really prioritizes your safety and creates that space where you can heal and thrive. Really, that's what I'm seeing here is thrive. Really cool. Yeah, okay, fine. I just kind of like went back and forth with Spirit in my mind as to whether we were going to get a last charm, and they told me to get these. Okay. Oh, I see why they had me pull these. Okay, that's interesting. You have 2 bees here, and these are actually both queen bees. Ooh, that's interesting. So yeah, it feels like there's... I love that the bees are attracted to flowers, right? They go for the nectar. 2 queen bees feels like matching energy. And it's like sweetness because they create the honey. And then you've got, I think this is a rainbow. Yep, a rainbow. And this feels like peace is the energy I'm getting from it, peacefulness. And I wanna put it here on the Ace of Pentacles. So I feel like that physical offer that's going to come in is going to create a lot of peace for you and joy too. The rainbow, for whatever reason right now, is making me think of innocence too. So yeah, joy, innocence, peace is going to be a result of you really following the scent is what they just said. Oh, right. If it smells like crap, it probably is. So literally the scent. It's like, what does it smell like? Does it smell like flowers or does it smell like shit? And it's learning to trust yourself again, to be able to discern between the two. And it's like they're showing me if somebody's attracting flies, it's a pretty good indication that there's poop. If somebody's attracting bees, it's a good indication that they're flowers. So it's almost like you want to look at the people that this other person surrounds themselves with or who you surround yourself with to kind of get an idea of where there's healing being needed. But yeah, it's like 2 queen bees, so it's matching energy, both powerful. Leadership. Again, they're telling me that phrase, the sum is greater than the parts. The whole is greater than the sum of its parts. Thank you, Spirit. Finally. I was struggling with that one for so long. So yeah, there's something about like this matching energy that really, it's very expansive. So yeah, Spirit is recommending that you trust yourself to discern the sweetness and follow that scent. That's what they're saying, because it's going to lead you to something very juicy and wonderful and sweet, and you're going to love it. You're going to enjoy it. If you can let yourself do that and trust yourself through the process of that, there's going to be a lot of healing and increase in your confidence and overall well-being in all these areas of your life. So yeah, very good things here. I love this message. So that is what I have for you, group number 1. Yeah, I hope this resonated and helped you in some way. If it resonated and you feel comfortable sharing, let us know how it resonated in the comments below. I love reading your guys' comments. If I don't get back to you guys in the comments right away or at all, it's not that I'm not reading or that I don't care. It's just sometimes my mental energy is low. I hit burnout a lot being neurodivergent. So I do my best, but I appreciate you guys being patient with me if I take a while to answer either the comments or the emails or anything else like that. So thank you guys for understanding. Know that I love you and I appreciate your support here on the channel in all of the various ways that you do. Oh, and if you guys are interested in booking a reading with me, I had previously stated that I was not going to be accepting clients and that I was stepping back from one-on-one client work, and that's still true. But Spirit has given me the go-ahead to be able to take on a small number of personal readings for the end of September going into October 2023. So if you're seeing this and it's still within that time frame, jump onto my website. It's tarotandbeyond.com, which is linked below in the description box, and see if there is availability still. It will be on the services page. If it is posted, then you'll know, if you can see the services tab on my website, then you'll know that you can book a reading still. And if you don't see it there, that means that I took the offer down because I booked up. So yeah, there's a couple of spots there. So first come, first serve. And if you want to work with me, I would very much enjoy that. And if you're a member here on the channel, a soul family member, I should specify, then you will have a discount code, but you guys will already know that because I will have sent out the email blast to you. And if you guys want to get on my email list so that you get first advanced notice on these types of things, you can subscribe to my email list through my contact page. That's also linked in the description box too. So anyways, I think that's everything. Okay, so I'm gonna sign off here. Thank you guys for being here. I love you, and we'll see you in the next reading. Bye. All right, hi group number 2. Welcome to your reading. You guys chose Strength, Resourceful with the bear here. I love that there's, what is that, like a little firefly or a fairy or something that's right on his nose there. So cute. And it's feeling like this very gentle energy, despite the fact that the bear is like a very fearsome being. I feel like there's gentleness here. There's some sweetness, and the delicate little rose and pearls here is making me think of sweetness as well. So I feel like there may be a connection to group number 1, but we won't know until we get into your cards. So let's take a look. I did want to mention that I was pre-shuffling your decks, and the Oracle deck that we're going to use, Positive Action, jumped out. So I'm feeling like that was meant to be mentioned. Okay, I feel these 2 cards. Yeah, so something about positive action and the strength or the resourcefulness to take positive action in a light-hearted, carefree way. Yeah, something like that. Let's find out. Okay. Yeah, I knew it. There's definitely a connection to group number 1 because they had this card as well. So if you guys were feeling called to that one or you feel called to it now, I would check that out. In addition to this reading, I didn't even notice there's a little firefly right here on the top of this wand as well. So something to do with fireflies, especially since this is kind of like the centering card right underneath. It's like having the strength to glow in the dark. Yeah, and they just showed me in my mind a rose blooming at night. So it's like a dark environment, something that it's kind of shadowed, or it doesn't seem like it's the right time, but it is. And it's like you create your own light, and that helps things to bloom. Yeah, I think that's where the resourcefulness comes into play, because it's like you can adapt to an environment that's not necessarily ideal, but because you have this inner strength, you can really, you can make it work for you. Let's get more information here. You've got the Prince of Wands, another Phoenix. The Ace of Wands in group number 1 had the Phoenix on it too. So it definitely feels like there's this, again, I'm getting resourcefulness from this one, this resourcefulness to be able to transform. As you guys know, I love to use references to pop culture, movies, shows, even books, and Spirit knows that. So they will use those as tools and archetypes to represent different themes. And I'm seeing here when Fawkes carries Harry Potter out of the Chamber of Secrets. You know, phoenixes can carry immensely heavy loads, as Dumbledore says. Their tears have magical healing powers. And yeah, I feel like there's something here about resourcefulness to be able to overcome. And when I'm thinking of the Chamber of Secrets, it's interesting that we've got the snakes here too, which is exactly what the Chamber of Secrets was really focused on. And the basilisk could turn people to stone, very similar to Medusa. Again, we were talking about Medusa in group 1. Ooh, this is really interesting. Okay, so, and yeah, because Fawkes was able to heal the basilisk's bite. So I do feel like there's some kind of resourcefulness, resourcefulness or strength to be able to bloom in a situation where you feel like all hope is lost. Like when Harry had pretty much just resigned himself to die. But then all of a sudden Fawkes swoops in, cries on him, and he's able to heal. And he survives and he gets out of there. So it does feel like, yeah, the blooming of the rose in the night is like this unlikely circumstance that helps you to overcome by some kind of healing, inner strength, resolve, or resourcefulness that allows you to rebirth yourself from a situation that felt very stuck. Very, very stuck. And it may have felt like it was stuck from some kind of an external influence, but it's like through your prayer, or your affirmations, or you're asking for help, you're getting it. Like it comes in and swoops in to help you to save the day. That's what the little firefly on the bear's nose represents too. It's kind of like a guiding spirit that comes in and helps to guide you out of this situation that you feel stuck in, trapped in, or as though you can't see a way out. The devil. Okay, here we go. Yeah. The devil in this example from Harry Potter would be Voldemort, you know, manipulating with the journal, really taking things for himself and drawing power from Ginny, drawing power even from Harry too. And it just, yeah, it feels like being trapped in the illusion or delusion of the darkness, not being able to see something clearly, made it really challenging, and it made it feel like there was no way out. But it's like through your own resourcefulness, right? You're able to find a way to put the pieces of the puzzle together. They're showing me Hermione when she figures out that it's a basilisk that's in the walls and that it's in the pipes, and then they all kind of put, you know, they put the pieces together and they figure it out, and then, you know, that's how they get down there. So I feel like this is kind of an example, is what they're showing me, is like the situation has had a negative influence from the outside, and you have felt oppressed in some way or stuck, and it has been testing your strength. Are you going to be able to overcome this? Are you going to believe that you are strong enough and capable enough of overcoming this, even though you might perceive yourself as less capable than you actually are? I feel like you are not seeing your strength clearly. Maybe other people doubted your strength. Like, for example, I think in the Chamber of Secrets, Harry Potter's like 12 years old at the time, and he manages to go through all of this stuff and overcome it. And it's like, holy crap, he's really freaking strong and resourceful. And he's always got help, you know, because he deserves it and he needs it. So I feel like, you know, you guys are kind of like Harry Potter in this situation, in the sense that you are kind of being tested. You're being challenged by this lower, distorted energy that is trying to get you to believe that you can't do it because the circumstances don't allow it, or because this other person or situation or environment is really oppressing you in some way. But you're going to overcome it because you are stronger than you know. Spirit wants you to know, and that's why they called you to click on this particular reading, that you are stronger than you know, and you have divine support. Help will always be given at Hogwarts to those who ask for it. And I'd like to amend my earlier statement. Help will always be given at Hogwarts to those who deserve it. That's Albus Dumbledore, one of my favorite characters of all time. And Gandalf too. Those are my two favorite. They've got a lot of similarities actually, but yeah. I feel like you guys have this wise guardian angel, or maybe it's your higher self, or it's a spirit guide or something like that. You've got somebody on the other side who embodies that energy of, I'm going to help you, but I'm not going to fix your problems. Like, because that's what Dumbledore did. And same thing actually with Gandalf too. Like, I'm going to guide you. I'm going to help you in indirect ways, but I'm going to let you figure this out for yourself, even if it means that you get, a little bit hurt along the way. It's really going to help you to be resourceful, to find your inner strength, and to bloom in the darkest times. Okay. King of Wands. Yeah, you've got a lot of Wands energy here. Fiery, powerful, strong energy. Lots of Wands. So it's using your inner fire to overcome, to transmute, to rebirth yourself out of this limitation, this circumstantial restriction, finding a way. And you know what I realized the other day? Desperation, if used correctly and catalyzed into something productive, can actually be really helpful, because desperation can lead to a lot of innovation. It can lead to being resourceful. It can lead to us kind of condensing that inner strength in that one particular moment where we're extremely desperate, our backs are against the wall and we feel like we don't have any options, to be able to find a way. Because if there's a problem, there is a solution. It's mathematics. It's like the law of the universe. There has to be an equal and opposite. So it definitely feels like if you felt like there was no way out of this situation, you're going to innovate. Because that's what I'm seeing with the King and the Prince of Wands too. Again, it's like innovation. In an act of desperation, there's going to be a resource that you previously really didn't feel was an option, but it's going to become an option. That's what they're telling me. That's what Spirit wants to say to you, is that there's an option that you haven't considered, and it's through this sort of healthy energy of desperation that it's actually going to help you to overcome through innovation and resourcefulness. Now, the opposite end of that energy of desperation is obviously the dysfunctional or toxic side of it, which desperation leading to irrational or harmful actions. So that's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about the positive use of that energy to overcome something, and sometimes needing the strength to do that. So I'll give you an example from my real life, and it's very mundane, but I'll just, it fits here, so I'm going to talk about it. I have a really hard time doing my dishes, and I don't have a dishwasher in my apartment. My suite just doesn't have it, and I'm neurodivergent. I have ADHD. I have executive function issues, and being able to stay on top of my dishes is seriously like the bane of my existence. It's way worse than it needs to be, but that's just what it is. And I remember I kept cycling back and back and back and having these dishes piling up, and then it was stopping me from eating food because I didn't have any dishes to make food, and I didn't want to make food because then it would make more dishes. I didn't have the executive function to actually just stand there and wash the dishes. I have sensory issues too, so that's involved in it. It just felt like it was insurmountable. I felt like I was trapped. I felt like I was helpless. I felt like I didn't have any power over the situation, and I became so desperate in a moment of I give up. And I remembered that I have a freaking tabletop dishwasher that I bought a couple years ago, and I didn't use it in this apartment because it doesn't fit on the counter, or so I thought. But in this act of desperation, I was like, I gotta try. I've got to try. And I didn't even think I could lift it because it's pretty big. And I had somebody who was helping me move into this place put it into the storage room, and I hadn't picked it up or done anything with it since then. And I I had to muster all my strength because this desperation was kind of forcing me to. I was like, I can't muster the strength to stand there and do 5-6 loads of dishes by hand. So I've got to try. And I went into the storage room and I picked it up with all my might, and I lifted from my legs so I didn't hurt my back. And I did it. I carried it on my own into the kitchen, and I plopped it on the counter, and yes, it covers a little bit of the stove, but I'm like, well, I just won't use those elements. I don't really need them anyway, right? We all have our own like one favorite element, and I don't cook more than 2 things at a time, so we're good. And it works. And it has saved me the past week because I actually got sick right after that happened. So if I didn't put that there in that act of desperation, I would have been totally screwed over the course of being physically sick because I wasn't able to really take care of myself in the ways that I needed to. Having the dishwasher saved me mentally, emotionally, and physically in this kind of circumstance. So again, it's a very sort of mundane example. And it might seem sort of, like a non-issue to if you don't struggle with those things, but that's a major struggle for me. And I managed to overcome it through that resourcefulness that really stemmed from that desperation. So yeah, we can really do amazing things when our back is against the wall and we don't feel like we have any other option. There's always another option. It's just, are we willing to do it? And they just showed me a mom like lifting a car off of her child, like those examples of great and profound strength that can come in a moment where it's absolutely needed, because our muscles are actually capable of way more than they can physically do. But the reason that we're not able to tap into that strength 24/7 is because it would cause damage to the muscles, it would tear them. And so we have this mechanism in our brain that kind of is like an auto safety shutoff valve that prevents us from using too much of our potential strength. But it's like in rare moments where the need is high enough, you can tap into it. And that's kind of what I'm seeing here is like, you have this huge strength within you, and maybe it's not something that you need to tap into all the time, but in this situation, it can really save you. And it's going to get you out of this feeling of being, like trapped, petrified, stuck, turned to stone. You're able to get out of, like, when I think of turned to stone, I think of like the freeze response, which is what would happen to me when I get really overwhelmed or overstimulated with household tasks or other things in general. It causes like a shutdown, which is the, feeling petrified, feeling turned to stone. The freeze response is your nervous system quite literally just shutting down. And I feel like the strength to be able to overcome this, to be able to bloom in the dark, is going to, really help you to find the way and heal. The 5 of Discs. Ooh. Interesting card. I haven't seen this one come out from this deck before. These are all new decks for me. Thank you so much to the donors who have sent these in to us from the Amazon wishlist I have linked below. This was reminding me of like the pit in the Silence of the Lambs, and I've never actually seen that movie. I know, don't come for me. I can't handle like psychological thrillers or horror movies or anything like that. It's just not my bag. I'm like a kiddie movie kind of girl. Just too innocent, too pure for this world. But yeah, this is reminding me of that reference, right? It's like the pit. And I feel like if there was a pit in your life that you felt like you could not get out of, you are going to be able to get yourself out of it. Again, it's like you're going to be able to overcome it. And it might even be through a wish that you're making, like a prayer or an ask for help or something like that, because they're showing me this hand with the coin, and it's like kind of like a wishing well, and it's like the God's eye in the bottom being like, I see this wish of yours, and that all-seeing eye is there waiting for you to make this request so that the necessary strength or energy or inspiration will come in and help you to resourcefully overcome this situation. Yeah, and I am seeing this the episode in How I Met Your Mother where they're talking about the pit person. Like, everybody has a pit person. It's somebody who you'd want to throw in a pit because like you're obsessed with them or you hate them or something like that. And then at the end of the episode, they realize that like the only person in the pit is themselves, and the only one who can get them out of the pit is themselves. So something about self-acceptance and realizing your true power, I think, is also part of this. Yeah, if you guys need resources, I'm also seeing that those resources are going to be available to you. Maybe they're not provided from someone else, but I think it's kind of like if you set the intention or you you kind of put it out to the universe in some way, you're going to have an idea about what to do. And you're going to be able to overcome through this innovation. Yeah, it's like you're able to survive. You're able to make it work for yourself. You're able to, oh yeah, they just reminded me that in this particular deck, that was the one that positive action came out from. So you're able to take positive action. Whoop. You have manifestation of light. I see the beauty in me. I grow and develop my inner self in harmony with light and beauty. I free myself from negativity. My heart transforms, my intellect shines, and my inner light grows. Yes, your inner light. That's the what are those called? Fireflies. Yeah, it's the firefly energy, where your inner light is able to shine again and you're able to transform yourself. That's the phoenix energy, to see your inner beauty and overcome any of this negativity or this really, distorted sort of energy that was holding you back or you perceived as holding you back. That's like the darkness, right? It's not giving you what you need, but as soon as you kind of say, well, screw that, I'm just going to do it anyway, because I can't let this best me, I have to survive. And it's kind of like you're able to adapt and to overcome. It's like Survivor Man, improvise, adapt, overcome. That's kind of what I'm seeing here. And you have self-love. I attend to my needs by listening to my heart. My inner essence lets me know what is good for me. I respect my limits. I answer the requests of my body and my soul. Thus, I learn to love myself. I just got a message that somebody in this group is also, you did watch group 1. If you watched group 1 and you're here watching group 2 now, this is a message directly for you. Self-love is really important here. And that's kind of what I was seeing with the pit, right? It's like you've got to ask. I wasn't even going to say you've got to ask. I was going to say you've got to give yourself the forgiveness, throw that ladder down to yourself and get yourself out of there. Be more connected to yourself through this energy of self-love. But what were they saying? What is that, Spirit? What do they have to ask? They said you have to ask for help. Ask for help from yourself. Right. The message about help will always be given to those who ask. Yeah, it's like divine help is what it feels like. And it's going to come through you. It's not really going to be anyone else outside of you. It's like you're going to be able to do this yourself, but you're going to be given a tool, a resource, an inspiration, an idea, something that helps you to overcome. And the day that I put the dishwasher in the kitchen was the day I had that realization about desperation. And it was actually before that event happened. It was completely unrelated. But then after the fact, I was like, oh, those two things were connected. And that was the lesson that I needed to learn from Spirit, was that sometimes we need a little bit of assistance. In this case, for me, the assistance was quite literally the technology of the appliance. But that was an act of self-love because I admitted I needed it. And I forgave myself for not being able to do it the way I thought that I should be able to in a neurotypical way. And that was an act of self-love because it was admitting that I can't do it that way, and that's okay. It doesn't make me any lesser of a person. I'm dealing with a lot of different issues, and that's self-love. I pulled myself out of the pit that day. And I think group number 2, you're going to have the strength, or you're already in the process of having the strength to get yourself out of that pit too. Yeah. Okay, we're going to pull from this deck. I need to cover up the backs because I know some of the printing kind of bled through, but this is a deck that I created. They're all channeled messages from Spirit. Feel that one. And we're just going to find out what else Spirit wants to say to you. Nope, they said keep going. They're hard to shuffle because they're so light. There it is. Okay. So let's find out. You have the path forward is multifaceted with many twists and turns. The path isn't always straight and direct. In fact, it shouldn't be if you're doing it right. Evolution is circular, so expect and account for turns ahead. Interesting. So part of this path is not a straight line. So if you feel like you're going backwards, you may actually be going forwards. That's what they just told me. So account for these twists and turns and adapt. Again, adapt, resourcefulness. If you can't go straight, then you need to go around. Okay, let's take a look. There's still a ways to go. You've come a long way, but there's still a ways to go before you arrive at your destination. Sometimes choosing to enjoy where you are at can make it go faster. Yeah, where you're at can make it go faster. It's interesting that both of these are talking about a journey and a destination. It's like the path forward is sort of all over the place, and this one's saying, yeah, you've still got a ways to go. But if you can just enjoy it for what it is and embrace what these parts of your soul journey are teaching you and how you're becoming the person that you're here to be in the process of that, it's going to feel less restrictive, is what they just showed me. It's going to feel less restrictive, and you're going to feel more powerful. You're going to feel more divinely guided, because even if it is dark, you're going to be able to trust in the guidance that you receive and the support that you ask for, and then again receive, to be able to traverse these many twists and turns. Because it's like, yeah, learning to trust your intuition and your ability to manifest is what I'm seeing here. And that really comes through that central pivotal force of self-love. The caterpillar here talking about transformation, and the diamond really speaking of value to me. There's so much value here, but it's like you just need to learn it for yourself, kind of thing, like you need to see it for yourself. You need to be able to trust your own strength. And some of that is through a little bit of trial and error, some twists and turns, some unexpected things that you'll have to overcome and that you've already had to overcome. But it's really teaching you to develop this strength for yourself and to be resourceful so that you can bloom and be the beautiful, radiant night rose that you are. It's kind of like, since I already mentioned my neurodivergence, I'm gonna say this reference too, because Spirit will always kind of put these things into my mind if it's relevant to the reading and if it's meant to add to the message, or even could be for someone in particular. But there's the theory of like the flower children, like the orchid child, the dandelion child. I can't remember what the other ones are, but the dandelion child is a kid who can like be put in any situation or environment and they're totally fine. They'll thrive. An orchid child is somebody who's very sensitive. So that could be somebody who's on the spectrum, for example, or who has special needs. And they are very much influenced either positively or negatively by their environment and by the way that they are handled or tended to. So, what I'm seeing here is kind of like the rose being able to bloom in night in not the ideal circumstances. It's kind of like that's not ideal for you, but it's helped you to overcome it. So let's say, for example, you're neurodivergent like me. This world is not built for neurodivergent brains. It's just not. And it's hard to thrive in an environment that is fundamentally not supportive of your needs. But what I'm seeing here is that you will have the strength and the resourcefulness to be able to become someone who can not just survive, but actually thrive in an environment that you once thought would kill you or would take all your power from you or would keep you stuck in this freeze response. It's like you're going to be able to, through some kind of self-love, self-trust, self-advocacy, inspiration, positive action, like trusting the light within you and the power to transform, you're going to find a way to thrive. You're going to find a way to not just survive, but actually to thrive. And then the sun comes out is what they're showing me. So it's like you bloom at night. And that was the whole purpose of this soul lesson, was to kind of test your resolve, to strengthen your mettle. And through these twists and turns, these ups and downs, these trials and tribulations, and these challenges you've had to overcome because of circumstance or just, that circumstance of the self or your environment, it's helped you actually in the long run to become more resourceful, more adaptable, stronger in a different sense. The caterpillar is going to become the butterfly. Actually, they're showing me that the caterpillar is going to become the firefly. So you're going to be the light, and you're going to light the way for others too, because you've done it yourself. You forged the path. Even if it was twisting and turning and cycling back on itself and all that, it's okay. That's how we find the way that works the best. Even when no path appears to be laid before us, you can forge it yourself. And I see that you're doing that, group 2. You are a pioneer. I just want to say that. You're a pioneer, and you're forging the way forward. You're doing it for yourself, first and foremost, and Spirit is guiding you through the process of that. But I think realistically, you can really map this path out for other people who come after you. Like younger generations or other people who are struggling with similar things. It's like if you feel called to share your experiences in whatever you're able to overcome and to create a better environment for yourself to thrive or to adapt to be able to thrive in your life, you're really going to help other people to heal and to overcome their similar struggles as well. Let's grab a charm. I actually feel called to this particular charm bag for you, group 2. So let's take a look. You got 2, I think. Ooh, you have the Pearl of Wisdom. This one always makes me think of that, the Pearl of Wisdom. And that's kind of what I was just talking about. Like, you're going to have wisdom from this, because wisdom is garnered through the knowledge and experience that's actually been lived. And so this wisdom that you are cultivating through these challenges, because the grain of sand is an irritant. It's something that's not meant to be there. It's not helpful to the clam. And so it coats it in that protective coating to help to reduce any friction or harm and to protect itself. And then that's how the pearl develops. So I feel like this is kind of what I'm seeing here is you overcoming these circumstances, these environments or these situations. It's helping to really create something super valuable. Again, the diamond value. And it's this wisdom. And again, I feel like you're going to be helping other people with that. You also have this silver dragon. Yeah, we're getting a lot of like Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings references. I mean, those are like 2 of my favorite movies of all time and books of all time. They were like some of the book series I read as a kid. But they're specifically referencing them here in your reading, group 2, because what they're showing me is the dragon in Gringotts Bank, that like poor, abused, isolated, conditioned dragon who's all but blind and weakened by his captivity, being liberated, being freed. And it's like a win-win situation, because he gets free, they ride him to freedom, and they both get free in the process, right? That's kind of what I'm trying to say here. So it feels like, again, you're freeing yourself, and by freeing yourself, you're helping to free other people. Okay, right. Oh, right, because that's what I was just talking about. Yeah, okay, so that's confirmation from Spirit. And they want you to know this. That's why, again, they called you to this reading, is so that you can see it from the bigger picture that they see it from. It's not just you overcoming this stuff because you have to. It's like the more that you can adapt and overcome and be self-loving in the process of doing so, holding the light, holding the faith, asking for the support you need, and then innovating and adapting to overcome, you're going to help other people do that too. It's going to be a win-win situation. You're going to liberate people from this devil energy, which is really just feeling of powerlessness, feeling trapped, feeling stuck. You're going to liberate yourself, and then you're going to liberate others too. It's beautiful. You're going to light the way. So go for it, group 2. You got this. You got this. Believe in yourself, and you will go very far indeed. There's still a ways to go, but you'll go very far indeed. The path is laid before you. You're being guided along it. Trust yourself. Trust your guides. Trust Spirit. Have faith. Okay? So that's the message Spirit wanted to say to you, group number 2. I hope this reading helped and gave you something to go on here, or maybe a little pick-me-up or some context or something, really, anything. That's always my highest intention, is that you guys get something valuable out of these readings, that they help you on your path in life, whether it resonates right now or whether it comes into context much later. Either way, it's meant to be helpful, so I hope that it is. And so thank you guys for being here. If you guys want to book a reading with me, I know that in the past I said I wasn't going to be taking readings, but Spirit gave me consent to open up a few different spots. So there's going to be, I think, 5 spots that are going to be open for late September and early October of this year, 2023. So if you guys are seeing this at the time that it comes out and you click on my website link, which is in the description box below, it's tarotandbeyond.com. And you go to the services page. If there are still services posted there, then you guys can book a session with me. I'm going to be doing either tarot and oracle readings or like psychic energy body scan, energy body healing, and Akashic field stuff. So it's going to be more like the energy healing side of it or the reading side of it, and you guys can choose from those 2 options. Soul family members, you guys look out for your discount code, which will be in the community section of the members only area. So use that at checkout for the discount, so you guys can have that as well. But yeah, it's first come, first serve, and I'm not going to leave it open for that long, because the whole reason I stopped taking clients was to recover from burnout. Compassion fatigue is a real thing, and energy burnout is especially a problem for neurodivergent folks such as myself. So yeah, I love you guys, and I look forward to working with the few of you who decide that I'm the right person or the right fit for you. I love you guys. That's all I have to say for today. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you in the next reading. Bye. All right. Hi, group number 3. Welcome to your reading. Let's see what Spirit has to say to you. You guys chose husband, marriage with the groom card. Very interesting. And then you also have here the tree of life, which kind of reminds me of they're showing me like a wheel in my mind. I was going to say it reminds me of the chakra system, but they're showing me in my mind a wheel. Yeah, it just feels like a wheel of some kind. Okay, so let's find out what that means. Okay, so for group 3 Spirit, what do you want to say to them in regards to this message here of the groom? Family tree was something that I mentioned before, I think. Yeah, and it does kind of relate to that, like the groom, the husband, marriage feels definitely like, oh, that one does go here. Yeah, okay. And it feels like there's some connection to the family lineage, family tree, joining the family perhaps. Okay. Okay, so let's look at the sort of crowning card here. You have the 8 of Swords. Wow. I feel like I need to get more information because I'm kind of getting some messages here, but I want to see what else we have. Oh, okay. Yeah, so the Ace of Swords. I feel like there's multiple different lines of thought here. Maybe many people with different perspectives. And it may feel a little bit conflicting. But there's one way of thinking about it that's going to kind of cut through all the rest. Ooh, we have the Star card, and she's naked. So I'm going to cover her up for the algorithm, or so that YouTube doesn't shut us down. Yeah, it feels like it's all thought. It's very, very thought-based energy that you guys have, which is not what I was expecting with the husband card. But it might not be literal, right? It could be like a line of thought in your mind that you're married to, like in a sense, like a contract or some kind of way of thinking about something that you've been loyal to for a long time. Maybe something from your family line. I'm still not 100% clear, but I'm getting a lot of Aquarius energy. I mean, the Star card is Aquarius, and then you have these Swords cards. So this person, if it's a person, it could be an Aquarius. But I am getting like multiple people or multiple ways of thinking about something. 10 of Swords. Look at all the air energy in your reading. Swords are air. Aquarius is an air sign. And it's interesting that we have this figure here in the Ten of Swords, and she looks like Medusa. And Medusa came up in both group number 2 and group number 1. So that feels significant. But yeah, for you guys here, it looks like it's like a line of thought that just doesn't resonate with you anymore. It's a line of thought that you've been married to. It's like negative thinking, but it's not just your own thoughts. It's like things that other people have planted there, seeded there, things that other people have said to you, or experiences that you had over the course of your life that have left you really stuck in those patterns of thought and repeating those same approaches to life, is what they're saying here. So they really want you to look at the roots of your tree. And in this case, we're talking about the tree of the mind. Although they did just tell me that it could have to do with lineage as well. I think it's like epigenetic. So it's consciousness and how consciousness is transferred from one generation to the next. So an example of epigenetics could be like, for example, a particular animal is introduced into a new environment and they've never had to deal with this predator before. Let's say it's like a crocodile or something. And the generation that experiences a lot of attacks or deaths at the hands of that crocodile, any subsequent offspring that result are going to have that imprinted into their DNA that, yes, we have to be afraid of crocodiles because that, it results in death. That's a predator. And so the survival of the species is passed down through this shift in consciousness, through the realizations of the previous generations. And that's how it's meant to work. However, it can also be counterproductive when it comes to humans, because humans were a highly evolved species, race of beings, and we can tend to overthink things and get ourselves into little muddling situations that we just didn't need to be in the first place. And I feel like there was lines of thought from generations before you that have kind of contributed to this state of seeing the world. Like it has literally altered the way that you see the world and everyone in it. And it's led to a lot of kind of mishaps in your life, is what I'm seeing. Like there's been some challenges here, and it's through new lines of thought. It's through rewriting the past, in a sense. It's kind of like choosing what to believe in more intentionally rather than letting those old programs run the show, that you are actively overcoming this and regenerating. It's like you're rebirthing yourself. You're finding a new way of doing this that works better specifically for you, given your environment and your circumstances and your needs, because the needs of your forefathers maybe are not the same at all as your needs, or their environment was completely different than yours. So it's kind of like your ancestors, their experiences were valid, but they're not necessarily applicable to you. And that epigenetic karma, honestly, is kind of what it feels like, is meant to be transmuted, is the word they just gave me. Transmuted by you. So Spirit really wants to talk to you about this, to give you this clarity of mind so that you can cut through. And they're showing me somebody cutting through cloth. Oh, right. And when I think of cut from cloth, it makes me think of cut from the same cloth. It's quite literally like you're cut from the same cloth as those who have came before you, but you don't have to be. You can make something different from that cloth. Let's look at this last card. No way. The Five of Wands. This has come out in every single of these readings from Spirit, saying they want to talk about this energy. That's the Medusa energy that's been coming up in all the readings. And in this case, yeah, it's again, it's like this combat in the mental realm of these different experiences that each of your ancestors has had, and how some of those are just really not serving you. They're leaving you really laid out here. And it is about choosing for yourself what you want going forward. Yeah, I see you choosing a new direction for yourself, a new line of thought, a new way of being, really, is what this is boiling down to, a new way of being. And choosing to commit to that, because that's what I'm seeing here with the groom. So it's not literal, it's figurative. Okay. You never know with spirit. They can go either way. But it feels like committing to this new way of thinking about something and choosing that consistently, because that's how you rewrite the past. That's how you break free from that epigenetic template or blueprint or karma, is really through repetitive new lines of thought that you are implementing intentionally and again repetitively, because you do need to kind of overwrite the old, and homeostasis will naturally want to keep you in a state of being that you've always been in. So to really tip the scales and change it, you have to do it a lot. So let's say, for example, there's a negative pattern of thinking, like I'm not good enough or I can't do this. Then this could be because you had ancestors in your lineage who really felt like they couldn't do it. And they really believed that that was like their way of surviving, was like, I can't do it, so I'm not going to try and push myself, and then I'll just play it safe or something like that. I don't know. But it feels like if you want to overwrite that, then you've got to consistently tell yourself, I can do it. I am enough. And I'm going to do it, and I'm going to keep trying until I get it. Even if I have to keep showing up every day and practicing this skill and actively choosing this thought, even when it's challenging, even when it's hard, even when it feels like all of the circumstances are against me. When the stakes are this high, you really need to commit. And that's why they're saying it's like husband, marriage, groom. It's committing to this new course of action, this new lineage, this new line of thought that you will in turn pass down if you end up having children or you have children. Because again, it's epigenetics. But yeah, you can heal yourself. Stars, regeneration, hope, new direction. And it can be about this regeneration of the mind, new growth of the mind. Purification is what they just said to me. So spirit is, they're saying that you can purify your mind and your bloodline, they just said. Does that work retroactively, spirit? They're saying not in a direct fashion, but energetically at soul level, it does create a ripple. But it doesn't prevent what happened, because it's already happened. The past is in the past, but you can positively influence it because it's like a present moment thing. I won't go into time and all of that. It's too complicated for this reading, and I'm at, kind of the end of my mental stamina for the day. But yeah, there's something about regeneration of the mind and the ripple effect, the positive ripple effect that will have as you commit to this new line of thought, choosing positive thought, choosing expansive, open-minded thought, choosing sovereignty, because they're throwing me. I was going to say they're showing me the crown, but they're throwing, because everything happens in a reason. Everything in a reading happens for a reason. And the fact that I just said throwing when I meant showing, it feels like you might feel like challenges are being thrown at you and you'll have to overcome them. But I'm seeing they're showing me. Okay, let me backtrack. They were showing me the crowns in this card as a representation of sovereignty. So this is like you choosing for yourself and being sovereign in your own life, not allowing things from the past or generations before to hold you back. Now, the second thing that they were showing me is that game where you have to cut the fruit in the air. It's like Fruit Ninja or something like that. And it's kind of like you've got this sword and you just got to practice like cutting the fruit. And in this case, the fruit is maybe like a negative thought or something like that. So you hold really firm and tight and learn to have the strength to keep holding that positive sword of thought, and then use that to slay all of the negative thoughts and cut them up. And then maybe you can even get some nutrition from them in an alternate way, right? Like you can take those thoughts and transform them for good. and actually get something positive out of them. You can catalyze it, or you can, maybe catalyze isn't the right word. What's the word? Transmute. Thank you, Spirit. Transmute those thoughts into, like sustenance for you in some way. I don't know how that works, but, well, I kind of do, I guess. It's like you being able to take those negative thoughts and use them for good. It's like you maybe get something good out of them by overcoming them, dissecting them. Maybe you understand yourself better. Yeah, like introspection. Okay. You have peace. I am unwavering in the face of fear. I come to my senses and embrace challenge. I am determined to think with gentleness and calm. I find inner silence and become a manifestation of peace. So peace is your sword. Group number 3. This is the sword that's going to help you really slice up all of those old negative thoughts that come from fear. And by embracing this challenge, you're really going to strengthen yourself in the process. And it's going to help you to regenerate and to heal and to overcome, because it's through this, again, like even the star card is like silence. It's a moment of respite. It's this peaceful moment that helps you to heal and see things clearly and renew yourself and move in a direction that feels more aligned for you. So this peace is really what they're talking about, especially since the opposite of that energy is like feeling very trapped, very stuck, very spent, very just laid out, betrayed by your own mind, or maybe by your family, their beliefs, something like that. You have joy. Like a child, I discover joy in the simplicity of life. Happiness lies in magical moments, not in the material. Even the smallest joy is a great source of light. Okay, so joy and peace are going to be your weapons of choice. And I'm hearing in my head, weapon of choice. You know that song, I can't remember, was it Fatboy Slim? Yeah, I think it was. Anyways, your weapon of choice, group number 3, in overcoming this challenge, in this situation, in your own mind, in your own perspective of life, in how you commit to things and grow things for the future that are very loyal and committed to you in turn, is through peace and joy. Cultivate those like your life depends on it, is what Spirit just said. Because the more that you can grow that peace and joy within yourself and use that as a resource to combat these negative lines of thought or these opposing opinions, maybe they're literal, maybe these are actual people in your life, in your family tree, maybe they fit, like, let's say, for example, you're choosing to marry someone outside of your tradition or your belief set or something like that, or your culture, and your family does not approve. These are like old lines of thought that says that culture is not good. Like maybe there was history between your two cultures. This is just a random example that's coming through. And there was old sort of prejudices and things like that. Those would be like old lines of thought, old epigenetics that, you know, through the history of the past have become ingrained and are continuing to persist. And it's like, no. I'm going to choose peace and joy within myself, and I'm going to choose to see the higher light in the situation, in this person, and in my family. But I'm not going to let those perspectives, those prejudices really hold me back, or hold this love back, or this relationship, or just if this is just in your own mind, then like not letting that hold you back in life and in your own healing journey. It is overcoming it through, they just keep saying, the cultivation of peace and joy. Cultivation of peace and joy. That's going to help you face these challenges. It's going to help you to clear the way, is what they just said, clear the way, and see the direction that you're moving in. Okay, let's get, these are some cards that I channeled from Spirit a while ago. I'm just going to find out what the message is for you, group 3. I do feel this one. Nope. Oh, they said take the one off the top. Okay. There's room for growth. The grass isn't always greener on the other side of the fence. In this case, the grass is greener where it has been tended to diligently and with care. If you see that you're lacking, what can you do today to nurture growth? Yeah, I can see how that fits in this reading. So it's like nurturing the growth of, again, those positive thoughts and positive perspectives on life. Because if you're looking at other people and thinking that they've got something that you don't have, or maybe it's like seeing in the opposite sense of this, it's not like the grass is greener on the other side. It's like looking over at somebody else's grass and being like, that grass is brown. That grass is crap. We can't let it touch our nice green grass. And again, I'm getting this like prejudice energy or these like restrictive lines of thought, basically. And it's being able to nurture growth, not just in yourself, but also in how you connect to other people. And I think that's why this is so important, is because it does shift your perspective on the world by shifting your perspective of yourself and in your own mind and how you perceive things and how you can harmonize with other people rather than having these thought patterns or these belief sets really kind of keep you apart or at odds with people. Particularly family, but yeah, it could be more figurative too. The castle awaits. Ooh, there's a home or desired living situation that is being made available for you. The more you seek it, the closer you get. It's waiting for you on the other side of your current situation. So maybe that's where these new lines of thought are leading you, to an environment or to a physical home that is going to be a better place for you. And it's funny because the grass on the other side, you know, the grass is greener. It's like front lawns, white picket fences, reminds me of home. So again, this is definitely talking about family roots and whether those family roots are serving your long-term growth or not, and how you would like to embark on that, what's going to serve you in that. I see commitment to these new lines of thought and challenging the negative thoughts and beliefs and maybe, questioning of others or projections of others. It's like there's going to be potentially a partner, a home, something that is available to you that is going to create a lot more stability, long-term. They just said financial growth. I don't have any of that here in the cards, but that's what they said, so I'll say it. Long-term financial growth and stability, clarity of mind, peace in your heart, watering and tending to your own garden, which is your own mind. It's going to produce a lot of good things in your life. Family, love, home, finances, obviously. They just said that, so yeah. Spirit's really saying, if you address this issue and you uproot and prune some of these negative lines of thought or these toxic perspectives, you're really going to promote so much expansive growth in your life. And they also just said bloodline. Yeah, so going forward and that ripple effect is what they're showing me again, like the drop and then it expands out. Okay, let's get some closing charms for you guys. Group number 3. Ooh, you have 2 keys. One has hearts on it and a little X. And the other one's just kind of like an ornate skeleton key. I hope you guys can see. Okay, so there's that. And no matter where. All right, so this definitely feels like a key to a house. It's very much to do with your mind. It's so bizarre that all of the cards are really talking about the mind here and the state of being, but then they're also like just completely out of left field being like, oh, and also there's a house and there's big financial gain and maybe like a relationship or something. It's like there's two keys that are going to be unlocking something in your life. And no matter where you go, you're going to see growth because you'll be watering your own garden. You're tending to your own creation. And so you're building a castle and you're helping to further the healthy evolution of your family line. Very interesting. I don't even really know what to make of that. Your reading was definitely the most sort of all over the place of the three, but very profound nonetheless. So I think I'll just leave it here. And yeah, Spirit's saying, yeah, that's good enough. The messages will make sense given context later on. So yeah, just keep these kind of clues in your back pocket, keep the puzzle pieces available for when you need them, and it'll fit together later. All right, so that is what I see for you, group number 3. I hope this reading helped. That's always my highest intention. And I am opening up a couple of spots to work with me one-on-one if you're looking for a reading or a healing session or a soul scan. I wasn't going to be taking clients, and Spirit said you can open up a couple of spots if your energy allows. And I kind of checked in and was like, okay, yeah, I can do that at the end of September, beginning of October of this year. So 2023, if you guys are seeing this around that time, and the spots have not been filled yet, you can see what availability there is on the website, which is linked in the description box below. So click on that link and it's first come, first serve. So I'm looking forward to working with you guys who feel called. And yeah, so we'll see you there, or we'll see you in the next reading here. So thanks so much for your support, guys. I love you, and we'll see you in the next reading. Bye.